Greetings, Indie Warriors! Hope you're having an amazing November so far. We're getting ready for turkey time here in the United States. Back with another Dream Drop for you, with 40 plus new releases for the week of November 17th through the 23rd, 2025. Niche, indie, AA, we've got you covered here. And real quick, why not celebrate the upcoming holidays by helping us bring visibility to indies? Head on over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames and you'll gain Discord access to the greatest indie gaming community. Enjoy early ad-free shows, get a shout out at the end of every single video we produce, our podcast 3 days early, and so much more. But best of all, you're supporting indie visibility. First up, Berlin is famously a city with lots of history, and in the Berlin apartment, you'll revisit the specific history of the families who have lived in one apartment over the course of a century. As you begin renovating the apartment, you'll find relics of the past, beginning new episodes of time and giving you a glimpse into the changing tides of the city. Each era and story is totally different, with its own genre, atmosphere, and main character. Think What Remains of Edith Finch in its gameplay variety. The Berlin apartment launches on November 17th. Another week, another roguelite hits Steam, and this one has us channeling our inner Karate Kid and kicking ass martial arts style. Forestrike, a 2D side-scroller, has you fighting through groups of enemies as the Admiral's nasty followers set their sights on corrupting the Emperor. It may all sound very simple, but you has the ability to rehearse his fights in his mind, ahead of each fight, letting players try out different tactics to see their outcomes before they dive into the combat. With its pixel art design and fast-paced fights, you'll need to make sure you're thinking ahead when Forestrike launches on the 17th. If cozy co-op games are more your speed, and you're as good at taking directions as your standard collie, then you and your pals may want to check out Sheepherds, a game all about herding your colorful flock. You can play with up to 4 players in increasingly difficult herding jobs, ensuring the right sheep run themselves into the right pen. Though if that sounds far too stressful, you've not got to worry about time limits or failure, and instead just hang out and herd sheep with your buddies. You can add optional challenges, customize your pups, and arf to your heart's content when Sheepherds launches this week. Cleaning sims are all the rage at the moment, and whether you've power washed everything, flipped a whole host of filthy houses, or tidied everything away, there's always more to do, and in Leafblower you're tasked with cleaning up those pesky leaves. Much like similar games, you'll blow through the campaign cleaning up leaves, dealing with weeds, and earning enough money to buy bigger and better leaf cleanup tools. There are optional objectives to complete, secrets to find, and a free play mode if you simply can't get enough leaf blowing action when Leafblower drops this week. Another co-op game now, only this one isn't quite as cozy and colorful as Sheepherds was, but only slightly. Lock Your Door is a 1 to 4 player survival horror game that sends you and your friends on a mission to find a missing friend who just so happens to have gone missing in an incredibly haunted building, which gets more and more spooky as time passes. Each player may find keys to different doors, some of which will help you on your search, and some of which will leave you face to face with dangerous monsters and ghosts. You won't go on the same adventure twice, and the more you play, the better you'll get. So grab your bravest friends and explore Lock Your Door on the 17th. This next one is also on the spooky side, but this time you have guns. Infect Cam puts you and up to 3 other friends into the tactical boots of an extraction team sent to save hostages following a pandemic that has turned the population into zombies. Gameplay takes place from the perspective of your character's body cam, so you're up close and personal with the action, getting covered in the blood of your enemies. You'll need to stay close to your team as every city you progress through gets harder and harder, with more difficult enemies to deal with. If you get lost or end up alone, you might just find yourself becoming one of the undead. Infect Cam launches on the 17th as well. Something of a palate cleanser for us now with narrative 3D puzzler The August Before, a game all about reflecting on your past as you pack up and move on to the next place. A game that describes itself as meditative, you'll work your way around your room, packing your belongings into boxes and reminiscing on the good and bad times of our protagonist's life. Each memento of your past will point you in the direction of the next. And with each item you find, you'll be able to pause for a moment and design your diary, listen to music, and organize your suitcase. Reflect on the life of your protagonist and maybe even your own when The August Before launches on the 17th. I'll say that a lot, probably. Anyways, enough of that warm, cozy feeling you've started to develop because it's getting pretty horrible again with first-person horror game Unmourned. Playing as Jason, you'll soon discover your new house is already occupied by spooky so-and-sos who are determined to make his house a little less homely. As you explore the house trying to solve the mystery of what is happening, though personally I think I would have just sold it and got the hell out of there, you'll uncover moments from the past and most definitely be scared and spooked by ghosts. Dive into the haunted past and make sure you've got your brownest trousers on for when Unmourned launches this week. Being the head of a city or country sounds kind of fun, but what if your citizens and soldiers had free will and didn't want to just throw themselves into wars because you asked them to? Wait, that kind of sounds like real life. That can't be right. Well, Crownbound Fantasy Kingdom Sim is an RTS that provides you with that exact challenge, as no matter how bloodthirsty you may be, you won't be able to force your soldiers to fight. Instead, you'll need to influence their decisions using magic, kingdom management, and rewards. Not only will you be fighting against your enemies, but you'll be fighting to keep your own settlers happy when Crownbound drops this week. Have you ever wanted to manage your own spy business? Alright, it's not something that I ever personally gave much thought, but I shall try anything once, I suppose. Interstellar Espionage Inc. is launching from Fancy Raven Games. Take down corporations from the inside out in this strategic management title that looks pretty damn deep. The universe is randomly generated, meaning that no two runs will ever be the same. So get to operating those space hubs and exploring the great unknown in this release that will almost certainly be too big-brained for this indie gamer, but I'm glad it exists for fans of the genre. Cooking and cards sounds like a nice evening, right? In Abra-Cooking-Dabra, a name that really rolls off the tongue, magic meets food and card play as you carefully manage various ingredients while keeping an eye on a timer. Oh, the pressure of it all. The full game will contain 25 levels, tons of guests, 5 bosses, and over 100 decidedly British dishes. I'm always looking to expand my palate and shall do just that on the 17th. Bon appetit, as they say. That is what they say now, isn't it? I guess cooking and eating are going to be a thing this week. Claire a la mode looks like what happens when I have too much caffeine. It's fast, it's zany, and has you running around for food? Bake delicious desserts and gather chefs in this retro-looking 2D platformer that looks just as fast as an old-school Sonic the Hedgehog game. There's 7 different characters to control, and it looks like good clean fun that's enjoyable for all ages. You know me, I love my retro games, so this is one that I will certainly be checking out at one point or another. But I do have a lot on my plate. Food again. Hope you're hungry for some 3D puzzling this time, as UMAMI is being served up to indie gaming audiences on, the 17th. Each level has been delectably handcrafted and can be freely rotated by players, so you can see every delicious morsel that's on screen. Yum! At the end of the day, though, it's a puzzle game, and there are 15 of them in total, along with no shortage of collectible cards that can be gathered. Plus, cute animals, which sounds like a win to me. Gosh, what is it with all the food this week? Not that I'm complaining. The odd-looking Morsels seems to channel some of that Binding of Isaac energy while combining creature collecting. Battle your way through levels collecting various power-ups as you mow down enemies and bosses. Be warned, it's gonna take you a lot of runs to get through this one, and you'll need to unlock different morsels, all of which come with unique attacks and attributes. The trippy visuals and sound design seem pretty cool, but it remains to be seen just how the gameplay will come together, though early previews have certainly been positive. Take a bite out of this indie on the 18th, coming to us from publisher Annapurna Interactive. We all dream of a better world, and we shall have it on the 18th with the release of A Better World. In this game, you have a time-traveling computer that will allow you to change past mistakes. If only you could do that in real life. Will you stop the assassination of JFK? Will you make sure that Blockbuster Video never goes out of business? Whichever terrible event you'd like to alter from the past, take advantage of the opportunity early this week. One of the most twisted games of the last few years makes its way over to the Switch. It's INDIKA. INDIKA tells the story of a nun who wishes to break free from her schooling and chart her own path in life. It's a great game with some amazing visuals, cool puzzles, and a deranged story that will perhaps leave you asking more questions than you'd like, but that's kind of the point. Don't miss out on this one, for Switch owners finally get to taste its craziness. This name doesn't sound very appealing now, does it? Kingdoms of the Dump drops a deuce on the 18th, coming to us from Roach Games and Dreamsloth. If you're anything like me and you grew up on SNES RPGs, well then pay attention to this one, as it's inspired by that amazing era of games. The world doesn't have anything to do with pooping, well I guess it sort of does, as you take control of a trash can at night, and it does take place in a dump. I've never pooped in a trash can, but I guess that's kind of what that sounded like, isn't it? Well, I hope your town dump doesn't have as much fecal matter as mine tends to. The turn-based combat, platforming, and Mode 7 world map look like a blast to the retro past. Time to take flight in this brutal-looking shmup from Polygon Bird. It's BIRDCAGE. Carefully weave your way through an endless onslaught of bullets and foes in this arcade-style shooter that will have you on the edge of your seat. It's colorful, insane, and calls back to the 90s, with players having different shots available, such as the wide shot and the focus shot. But on top of that, you get to play a little bit of defense too, and hopefully you're better at it than the 2025 Bengals. There's a full story mode, arcade mode, and even score attack. Having previously released on PC, the wacky indie game Squirrel with a Gun is making its way over to the Switch too. Play as a squirrel with a gun, as the title implies, and get into all manners of mischief as you use stealth, platforming, and more in a game that features missions in a massive open setting. It's good comical fun that, despite some flaws and some pretty crappy boss fights, I enjoyed, so it's nice that Switch 2 owners will be able to take part in the chaos. After many delays, the wait appears to be over at last. Demonschool is upon us, launching from Necrosoft and Easebird. With inspirations from Persona, this tactical RPG will feature a unique combat system, story that's full of demons, and awesome retro visuals and sound design. It's been a long time coming for this game, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Demonschool will deliver. So sign up for classes this week in what might be the biggest indie release of November. Don't brush this next release to the side. It's Brush Burial, coming to us from Knife Demon Software. In this first-person sim that features a really wild retro aesthetic, your combat skills will also be tested, and expect no shortage of climbing, so I hope you're not afraid of heights. With tons of NPCs to encounter, an assortment of tools at your disposal, and some really cool-looking cosmetics, one thing's for certain, this little indie isn't afraid to try and stand out. Because there are never enough games with the word punk in the title, why not add yet another one to your indie gaming library with the release of Duskpunk from Clockwork Bird. This steampunk dice-driven RPG has tough choices for players to make, some really great artwork, and a huge cast of characters that all come with unique stories of their own. Inspired by the likes of Citizen Sleeper, this promising indie has a ton of potential, and we shall soon see if that potential is realized. It's getting hot in here, so take off. Never mind, don't do that. Cleared Hot is coming out on the 20th, a helicopter shooter, something that we don't exactly see every day here at I Dream of Indie Games. Shoot and weave your way through this tactical title that has no shortage of explosions, and drop off your squad so that they can head into battle on foot. With a full single-player campaign for players to enjoy, tons of upgrades, and 3 different biomes, there's no shortage of airborne thrills. Working together in a tactical RPG, huh? Sounds challenging, but in a fun way. The Dungeons & Dragons universe comes to life once more in Demeo Dungeons & Dragons Battlemarked. With the look and feel of your favorite tabletop game, this one will feature all of the classic D&D classes, where each play differently from one another, just as you would expect. Be warned though, there are traps and dangers abound in this accessible release from Resolution Games. Raw Fury always seem to be dropping indies seemingly out of nowhere, and their latest release, Monsters Are Coming Rock and Road, has caught me by surprise, as honestly I hadn't heard a peep about it up to this point. It's being described as a tower survivor roguelite where you must stand your ground in an effort to protect the city. Hordes of enemies will try to thwart your efforts, but stand strong and build up your defense, and who knows, you may live to fight another day. See if you can reach the Arch on the 20th. Soaked in retro goodness and inspired by classics like Contra and Wild Guns, Neon Inferno is the latest release from Retroware, unleashing itself on the 20th. Our review of this action-packed shooter is live on the channel already, and we loved it for its fast-paced action, pixel art that is to die for, and amazing soundtrack. Fans of 2D running gun games won't want to miss out on this excellent release. I love what Retroware have been putting out over the last few years. Fans of auto-battlers may want to pay attention to Wretch, Divine Ascent, dropping on the 19th. With its intense roguelike mechanics, the game features a medieval setting that looks to die for, literally. Taking heavy inspiration from backpack battles, players will need to utilize whatever they have in their inventories and try to make the best of it. Create the ultimate strategic formula and find victory in placement, then take part in epic duels to the death. Expect 10 battles per game, so bring your best. Cats in video games, it's almost always a win. Okay, maybe not for Bubsy, but it's not his fault, usually. This memory deck builder, of course, features cats. It's Replicats, and it has some zany rules that put a spin on the familiar formula. There are crazy combinations to unlock, lots of strategies to be implemented, and yes, no shortage of cats with attitudes. Get your synergies in order in this release from Brainoid and Arabit. Next on the docket is a gorgeous little puzzle platformer, and I do mean gorgeous. This is As I Began to Dream, a new indie release from Straflux and SoftSource. It's not just pretty, the game seems to have a very powerful narrative too that deals with love and loss. Players are able to rotate the world, solving puzzles as they carefully traverse the 5 stages of grief. Maybe a little depressing, but I do love good emotional storytelling in my games. An old timer returns in Outlaws, Handful of Missions Remaster. Your wife has been slayed, your daughter stolen, and now it's time for some good old-fashioned revenge out there in the Wild West. From the same folks who brought you Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, this 1997 Western is back as you control James Anderson, shooting down any varmints that stand in your way. This literal blast to the past has updated visuals, uncompressed cutscenes, and more, making it a sleek-looking update. Yeehaw, partner, grab it on the 20th. Onto a life sim now with Organized Inside. And organized I am anything but, so maybe this game can teach me a thing or two? Pick up clutter around your home and place it nice and neatly so that when guests arrive, your home is presentable. This looks super cute, and I mean, it has cats again, so the cozy crowd should be all about this life. Coming to us from Myax Studio. And I'm usually not about the cozy life, but I can be persuaded. A classic from the late 90s returns in R-Type Delta HD Boosted, coming to PC and all major consoles on the 20th. Often regarded as one of the best games in this storied franchise, this updated version of the PS1 game will feature the same great challenging action you would expect, with a newly mixed optional soundtrack and visual overhaul. Fans of R-Type should be over the moon to see this classic available on modern hardware. Just know these games are tough as nails. In Kriophobia, coming to us from the good folks over at Indie.io, you must try to escape a frozen bunker in the Soviet. Damn, I hate being cold. Monsters of all sorts lurk in this third-person survival horror game that will have no shortage of thrills for fans of the genre. Unravel a dark mystery in a game inspired by classics such as Silent Hill and Resident Evil. Music to my ears. Another one that must have missed the Halloween season, but don't let that deter you from at least tossing it onto your wishlist. While this next game sounds like the latest addition to the Die Hard movie franchise, Live Hard, Die Hard is in actuality a real-time strategy game with a twist. Battle back waves of enemies, but be warned, time is of the essence. That's right, you have just 4 weeks to put together your team, or else the aliens are going to take over. With plenty of management to be done and resources together, Live Hard may just live up to its name of being difficult, but I'm confident you'll be up to the task. If you didn't get enough horror during the Halloween season, then Saborus has you covered this week. Playing as a chicken, yes, a chicken, you'll need to solve puzzles and try to survive as you're chased down relentlessly. Alright, maybe the ridiculous premise of playing as a bird takes some of the fear out of this one, but don't knock it until you try it, okay? Find out if the game lays an egg in this effort from High Room Studio and BI.T.S Interactive. Slide on over to this little indie coming to us from Silent Chicken. It's Sliding Hero. This game mixes Metroidvania mechanics with my favorite, sarcasm, sliding puzzles. Uh-oh, but hey, just because I don't like sliding puzzles doesn't mean you won't. In truth, the game looks pretty fun, with a great setting that will have no shortage of secrets for players to unlock. You can only slide in one direction too, which should certainly make things that much more challenging. See if you are up to the task later this week. Go Berserk for this next release, coming from the same team that brought us the excellent and often forgotten Berserk Boy. This is Berserk B.I.T.S, an idle RPG that will rest in your background as you cruise the web, doing whatever it is you do. Collect chips as your bit battles away, with rare chips allowing you to create an all-powerful deck of cards. There's tons of customizable options, some amazing artwork here, and no shortage of bosses to slay in this fun-looking release dropping on the 20th. In a galaxy far, far away lies a princess named Zorana. Learn all about her many adventures this week in Galaxy Princess Zorana, coming to us from Hanako Games. As the daughter of an almighty emperor, you will fight to claim the throne as you make various deals trying to avoid assassination in the process. Choose between a variety of different skills in this strategic offering that will feature various outcomes in the story, meaning you won't be able to see everything through a single playthrough. We love replay value around these parts, and there should be plenty of it on the 21st when this one drops. Now, I've seen a few of the Terrifier movies, and they are disgusting, but in a really fun, sick sort of way. Well, now the series is making the move to video games in this arcade-style brawler, Terrifier, the arcade game. A clever play on words there, with retro visuals, tons and tons of gore as you would expect from a Terrifier game, and stages based on movie sets. Playing as Art the Clown should be a riot. Plus, players can expect no shortage of boss battles and even multiplayer for up to 4 players. Nice. Brawler, chiptune soundtrack, horror, it's music to my ears. Tracing was really never my strong suit, but I can get down with some 2.5D action. Retrace the Light comes from Glintforge with a unique spatial retracing mechanic. Ooh, that sounds fancy, doesn't it? Play as an enforcer and battle back AI in this futuristic setting that will have no shortage of surprises. Hey, things were going to be different in the year 3323, and boy are they ever. Take on various missions, solve a few puzzles along the way, and put an end to the dastardly mirror mares once and for all. Speeding on to our next game, it's Speed Demons 2. This arcade racer looks fast as all hell and will have a hard-hitting soundtrack that really puts the pedal to the metal. Avoid traffic as you dodge and weave your way to victory from an unusual side view that you don't see in a ton of other racing games. With plenty of gameplay modes, the action won't run out of road anytime soon either. Grab it on the 21st and burn rubber, baby! Next on the list, this one's gonna cast a spell on you. It's Heartspell Horizon Academy from Dire Kitten Games. See if you can fall in love with the wizard of your dreams in this visual novel meets match 3 game. Create strong bonds with the various characters that you'll encounter, make some tough choices, and match those gems together successfully. It's not just wizards either, as you can fall in love with werewolves, fairies, who knows what else. See if it's a match made in heaven towards the end of the week. And closing out our week, we have Rack Reclamation, coming to us from Final Boss Entertainment on the 22nd. If you're around my age, then you remember classic FPS games like Doom and Quake as if they were released yesterday. This title is looking to bottle up some of that magic as you take down waves of foes, unleash combos, and unlock new abilities along the way. It looks retro, fast, frantic, and bloody too. See if you're able to fend off an alien invasion, blowing those bastards to smithereens. And that's gonna do it for this week, folks. Thank you for all that you do for indie visibility. Be sure to hit up our Patreon, patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, like, subscribe, and bring a voice to the voiceless.